Rated M for mature.
Hello and welcome to the COD Pod, the official Call of Duty podcast. This is episode 2, coming at you from Washington, D.C. here after COD Next, Call of Duty Next. It's been an incredible day. The COD Bowl is taking place right behind us. It's absolutely wild in Steph.
It's been nonstop. This week has been busy. This month has been busy. This summer has been busy. This year has been busy.
Yep.
We have so much going on with Call of Duty Next, with COD Bowl happening. It's been just wild being here in DC. Beta's right around the corner.
It has been busy.
I can't believe what today has been in the broadcast, and it's just been an amazing experience.
It's been a lot.
And now we're taping a podcast, so
I was going to say,
I'm going to say something silly because I'm tired.
That's all right. That's why we have editors. But we've got a very busy show as well. Lots to get through in today's episode. We've got a recap next. We're talking about beta tips, multiplayer breakdown, because there was a lot in there. Special guests, Steph. Lots of special guests.
We're going to talk about zombies, and we might have a volunteer from the crowd.
Oh, you there, boy, with the hand up. Who could it be? More on that later. Area 99, a brand new resurgence map, very, very exciting. And community questions. Honest to God, what an experience this has been. And what a time to be a COD fan.
What a time to be a Call of Duty fan.
Yeah. But Steph, Next has been, one of the most amazing weeks here, it feels like. As you said, today feels like a month in itself, but we have been here for quite a while.
Yeah, we work on this show really hard, right? This show is kind of a monster to put together. We start working on it, late spring, I would say. We write it. Huge shout outs to all the different teams at Activision. There's way too many to name. I will inevitably forget someone and feel terrible and not sleep tonight over it. But so I'm not going to try. But the studios with Treyarch and Raven and the developers here, the creators here, all of our awesome production and broadcast team behind the cameras.
They're
also
all cheering.
Here at COD POD. Yeah, they're so excited to be here.
Cheering.
There's one guy danced. But yeah, we're sat in the safe house area at the National Building Museum. And by the time you guys see this, beta will be upon us.
It will, yes. And for those who are listening, it is a very lovely building. I mean, it's a gorgeous structure here in DC. We are surrounded by an incredible attention to detail when it comes to the set design, when it comes to all the Black Ops 6. We've got a big board full of information, so as the operators. There's loadout lockers around us full of authentic gear. It's absolutely brilliant.
And I mentioned COD Bow's happening, so the building has changed color from orange to blue, and blue's happening over here, and there's an amazing competition.
Yeah, I met some of the players beforehand, and they're feeling incredibly confident, as they should do. They're all fantastic players. But big shout outs to all the players and service members that have participated. Kane Brown, wherever you are, I know you're listening. Whenever you want to run those Warzone duos, baby, let's get it.
He's busy right now, but we saw him playing even on the next broadcast, and the man plays Call of Duty. He's serious.
He was right behind, moved to where we were, the Oculus, those who watched the stream, he was 2 rows behind where Puckett and I were working from, and he was great. He was having a great time.
Yeah.
Shades on indoors, unbearably cool.
Yeah.
Unbearably cool, but also great at COD.
Also, same thing with RG3. RG3, great COD player. Watched him play zombies yesterday. Was awesome and lovely to work with. And so it's just been a great time. Do you have any favorite moments? Or let's do this. Let's do top 5 craziest things you saw at Call of Duty Next. No particular order.
Okay, no particular order. Things I wasn't aware of everything. I didn't get to put the show together in the same way that you did.
I'll help.
So for me, again, the actual room itself, the set design, the space was wild. I had an idea that there was going to be 215 creators here, but not to, the way they were set up. The Through Dark guys, getting to meet Foxy and Louie, that was very, very surreal.
Yeah, they're here with code.
Very cool. And not only that, the Endeavor operator pack, which is coming out on October 25th. Very excited to see how that goes.
Through Dark.
Back time, we got a UK operator. I mean, there's loads of them, but in the endowment pack, which is so cool. Very,
awesome.
Very exciting. Yeah. Abby, God, how many? I mean, we're going to talk about Abby quite a lot in the show.
I love Abby.
There's no way we don't. The team who put Abby together outside, I got to talk to some of them for a brief bit, and they were so proud.
So they were working on her for months. They told me.
About 4 months.
Yeah.
They were like, we really want as much feedback as we can. And I was like, what more feedback do you need then? This is amazing.
We won a Guinness Book of World Records while we've been here at Next for Abby, which is, of course, our pet name for the Mega Abomination. We're going to talk more about her in a little bit. We had Killer Mike.
Unreal.
What an open. I mean,
Unreal.
chills hearing the musical piece that opened next. If you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out on YouTube because, wow, very cool. The Replacer, he's back. He's more replacery than ever.
But the irreplaceable Peter Stormare, so cool to
So
see him.
good.
And also his car was outside as well. So all of this
Yeah.
was amazing. Speaking of cars outside, not necessarily the same thing, but the motorcade, the Triumph motorcycle
Yes.
motorcade. I'm a big biker at heart. So to see those Triumphs, I did ask one of the riders by as I was leaving yesterday, I was like, "Excuse me, sir, can I get a quick little vroom?" And he gave me a
goes,
big thumbs up and went, "Meow, meow, meow." I was like, "Oh, that's my day, mate. See you later." Like a child. Simple, but very, very happy.
We
with
like
it.
what we like. What are you going to do? Also, someone got married.
Unbelievable.
We had a Call of Duty wedding, folks. It was amazing. It happened last night at the International Spy Museum. The couple met playing Search and Destroy, I believe.
They did, yeah. And the tagline at the end of the wedding was "Love at First Snipe." I mean, come on.
It's beautiful.
It was beautiful.
It is
very,
a beautiful
very cool.
moment.
But I mean, all of this happened. It was, and more. Gosh, if you did watch the show from start to finish, well done, because
Yeah.
it was an incredible time.
I got a little personal highlight. I got to announce to the world that Verdansk, the OG Call of
Verdansk.
Duty Warzone map, will return in 2025.
That's nuts. Well done.
And that was, I feel like I don't get super nervous for some of these things anymore. Obviously, there's a lot of moving pieces, and, you know, being up there with the devs is something that I love to do. But I had a little moment when I went to do it. It was really cool. It's something, a lot of people are working really hard on at the moment. And so, yeah, more next year.
Yeah, a very exciting moment indeed, and well kept under wraps. No one knew that was coming, honestly. That was a really fun surprise. Enough of the past. Let's look to the future, the beta. We teased it on the first pod, we announced it on the first pod, and now we get to sort of go, yeah, it's happening.
It's fun because people are always like, hey, Steph, are you going to take time off after next? And I'm like, yeah, the beta starts now, basically.
See, I don't consider that taking time off. Like, no, I'm hard at work playing the beta inside and out.
Well, I'm so excited for beta. I think working at the studio, I've had a chance to play this game quite a bit. I love this game. Very excited for Black Ops 6, especially multiplayer. But just the difference, I think, of you playing it at work and then finally getting to that place where you can go home and play it with your friends and family is just something that's totally different. And it feels so like I can wake up in my pajamas on a weekend and jump in, and the developers from Treyarch on the desk today are saying, they're going to be paying attention to beta, paying attention to the experiences. We'll be looking at social. We'll be looking at the official Treyarch channels. So make sure you share with us,
Please.
your thoughts on beta, and we'll go from there.
I mean, you never know what can happen with a good social post. I mean, how much influence that can have. We heard the devs talk about it to no end. Matt Sharon's saying today, I mean, they talked about the time to kill. That's a really important part of the game.
Yeah.
We need to collect this information. We need this feedback because we want to make the best possible game we can. It's awesome.
I'm also just excited for top plays. Like,
We saw
Winner's
a lot
Circle
today.
is back. Best play is back, except
Emotes, all
emotes.
the things.
Like I want to see those. I hope people are sharing these unreal Omnimovement clips throughout beta. I think we can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see what people do with the movement in beta. Finally feeling Omnimovement for yourself, because we've been talking a lot about it, but I really think it's about getting hands-on. And a little later in the podcast, we're going to do some quick beta tips and tricks.
That'd be a lot of fun. And again, I think that's one of the key things we talked about in the first episode, and we talk about now, and we've been talking about endlessly all day, is the feeling of Omnimovement. I think that's one thing that you can talk about it all you want, you can show it, but when you actually play it, when you actually feel it, you will in the beta, it's amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm on the payroll, folks, I have to say, but it's honestly amazing. This already might be my favorite COD.
I think that's probably my first tip. And a tip from the team at Treyarch is hone your Omnimovement.
Yeah.
We have a training course in beta. It's a sneak peek at one of the launch maps coming called Protocol. So not only are you getting a look at another map, which, there are already 8 maps coming to beta over the 2 weekends, which is wild.
Absurd.
Also that, use the training tours to get used to Omnimovement. It can take some time. Second suggestion or tip or trick from the team, from the studio, from me, from everyone I think who's played, would be hone your settings.
But to that point as well, I think this is a piece of advice for the more sort of stuck in their ways COD fans. I haven't changed my settings in a long time. Tactical flip, thanks very much. And I think I might be changing it to sort of suit the way this game plays. I'm going to be sliding and diving more than ever. So it's a chance for me to sort of sit down, refresh, and maybe mix things up a
recalibrate.
bit.
I mean, it really does change, things. You kind of have to rewire for a second, right? Like, it can take a minute to get used to Omnimovement, because things you could never do before.
Ever.
You can do. You can jump sideways. You can sprint backwards.
The supine, sprinting backwards and then diving backwards, whether it's downstairs, down, we saw the escalator from the trailer into the pool. But the whole time, I mean, everything has changed. I mean, it still feels incredibly Call of Duty. It feels like signature Black Ops experience, head to toe. But it's so new. It's so exciting. It's so fresh. I talked to nearly all the creators here, nearly all 215. Joke, I don't speak Japanese, and my Portuguese is terrible. There's creators from all over the world here, folks. But a lot of them also said very similar things. It feels amazing, feels great. It took me a minute to get used to.
Yeah.
Because I'm in this safe, very familiar place, but it's a strong enough difference that I wanted to get used to it. And once they got used to it, there's no going back. It's so cool.
It definitely has felt that way for me. So it's super exciting to hear that for them. I think final, beta trick. I'm not going to call this a tip because it's going to come from you and I. So that's a trick. Favorite weapon that you played with?
Massive XMR fan, but the aims, which is the sort of the third.
50, 25, 85.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun for me to use personally. I really, really enjoyed that. I'm more of an assault rifle player, but the Tanto 22 submachine gun, dope.
So, yeah, that seemed to be a big hit today. I think
big hit.
The XM4, the Tanto, and also the Jackal PDW.
Yes, the other submachine gun we have. Look, I think a lot of the players, everyone was sort of passing notes under the tables, like, what's the best settings? And there's no best settings.
Show me your build, show me your perks.
Yeah. What are you running on the stock? There's a lot of that today. But at the same time, you can run anything. I built a really nice XM4 that was sort of designed to be used in the air, almost exclusively. It was rocking.
I think too, with this game and the beta, get a sense for, how perks are going to work, of course, with the return of wild cards.
Awesome.
With the, pick 3 perks of the same type and you get that combat specialty bonus, which is awesome.
That, it does sort of it doesn't force a playstyle, but it definitely forces me as a player to maximize and... I'm going to use the term abuse because that's the way I describe my playstyle. I'm going to force these mechanics and force that kind of playstyle myself, but really, really cool. Really, really cool addition to the game. But Wildcard's a really welcome addition to come back to as a Black Ops stan. Gunfighter perk, 8 attachments, is tremendous. You really are building a super, super primary weapon there. And having additional perks, having additional, everything is amazing. It's great. Yeah, we obviously heard during the Warzone section that, the pick 3 perks are back, but the lootable perks are stackable on top of those. Yeah. But wildcards are in Warzone. They're going to launch with more at Season 1. So today we saw Overkill and Gunfighter. They'll be launching with more at Season 1 and beyond, so that's super exciting. Insane.
Well, Miles, that's all we got for tips and tricks. We'll see you in the beta starting August 30th. I can't wait. There's 2 weekends. Pre-order now for early access or subscribe to select Game Pass plans. But in the meantime, I want to talk about zombies. Okay, so Miles.
Yes.
We said that we were going to take some questions from the community. And so we're kicking things off today. We want to talk about zombies. We want to recap next. We want to get into round-based. We're going to take a question from a social media platform from a creator who is actually here today at Next.
Which I think is wildly convenient.
Yeah, same.
Can you confirm some more fan-favorite gobblegums coming on launch for zombies? By the way, I tweeted this, and I'm suddenly now here, sat next to the guy to ask the question.
Actually just appeared right now. He's just right into business. Yeah.
So we're excited to welcome John, a.k.a. MrDalekJD, one of our favorite zombies creators out there, someone we watch often, friend of the pod, as we like to say.
Yeah.
And Kevin Drew from Treyarch.
Long-time listener, first-time appearance.
Yeah.
Likewise. I can't believe I'm the first content creator on the COD pod. It's a massive honor.
You are our first ever non-developer guest. we are both sorry and excited.
Yeah.
And thank you. Yeah.
Thank you all the same. Yeah.
It's been a long day, so there might be some jokes in here, guys. It's been Next has been awesome. The vibes were good. What was it like watching and playing Liberty Falls just in this setting with everything happening?
It's kind of surreal. Like, we're in a museum and we're playing zombies 2 months ahead of launch, and it's the second map. It's a lot to take in, but it was a fantastic experience. I maybe played a little bit longer than I should have. I got to round 42, so I feel like yeah, I think I've played a lot. I think I can say I've played a lot.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Exciting stuff. So we do have some real questions from the community. Not that yours wasn't, but we're not
going to answer yours. No, just kidding.
I was going to say.
We're gonna.
Damn it! I shouldn't have tweeted it.
But either way, we'll go through some of those. Then maybe you want to ask Kevin some questions. Maybe Kevin wants to ask you some questions. Maybe Miles and I want to ask each other questions.
I'm just happy to be here.
Oh, okay. Let's get into it.
Okay.
Gobblegums. Yes, lots of fan favorite gobblegums. A lot of Black Ops 3 gobblegums coming back. Perkaholic, obviously. The big one, right? Who doesn't want all the perks immediately? But crate power, wall power, giving you that pap right off the bat. I'm like afraid. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for shopping free.
Not at launch.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
Can I ask another one?
You can.
Hold on.
Raindrops?
At launch.
Oh.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm excited about that one.
Exciting stuff.
Who doesn't want
Okay.
all the power-ups at once?
Let's take a look at some other questions that we've had from the community. And as a reminder to everyone that you can post questions on social media using hashtag COD POD. Submit your questions. We would love to see them. For legal reasons, I may not be able to read your name live on the podcast. However, we're going to take them. And if you really wanted to, you could look them up on, YouTube or the platform of your choice. Anywho, Kevin, got one for you here. Will Mr. Peaks finally talk to us in Black Ops 6?
Never say never, but in this case, there are no plans for Mr. Peaks to be talking.
Okay.
And I think it's good. I think he's a little more scary if he doesn't have that voice, He's just a little bit more mysterious.
I can't imagine what he would actually sound like.
Yeah.
It's what
kind
he
of
would say.
It's like in the horror movies when they start talking, it gets a little less scary.
Yeah.
So I've privately been campaigning to Kevin to have Mrs. Peaks.
Yes.
Oh,
in
wow.
the game.
No, that has to happen.
I am. Yeah.
I'm
I'm interested in expanding the Mr. Peaks universe.
Yeah. I feel
but-
like after Zombies Month,
Only
we
because of
learned-
what you asked. I was like, all right.
Okay, I feel like after Zombies Month, which was basically what we've been calling the majority, end of July into August, we've had all of these awesome zombies, beats and reveals and trailers and content and intel drops. It's just been chock block full with zombies content. But we also had thetruthdies.com.
That's right.
In which Mr. Peaks, had infiltrated a local news station somewhere. And it just became like the love for Mr. Peaks was strong. The internet, we need more.
Yeah, he's a good mascot. I knew there was a jump scare when I was reviewing that Truth Dies, and he still got me.
He got me as well.
I was like waiting for 10 seconds. Where is it? Oh, there it is.
John, I want to ask you, do you have any questions for us? Probably not, but you might have questions for Kevin.
Questions for Kevin. Ooh. I guess maybe from a design philosophy, when it comes to designing both Terminus and Liberty Falls, what are your sort of goals with each map? Because the first impressions from Liberty Falls is it's very much sort of an easier map for beginners to jump in, while Terminus is I feel there's so much untapped potential of fun things to do and ways to play it.
Yeah. I mean, you got it. It's exactly what we're going for. I think over the years we found that, hey, some nights I'm into a really deep experience that's going to challenge me. Mm-hmm. Other nights I just kind of want to chill and kill zombies, And so we wanted to make sure we had at least one map to do that at launch.
You can do both at launch, which is epic.
Especially with so many people. It's been 4 years since round-based zombies, so there's potentially a lot of people who maybe their first time playing, Vanguard, or Modern Warfare zombies, and it's like here's a space to get your feet wet, right?
Yeah.
So that's yeah.
And the two of them I love come together to set up the whole narrative, right? Because they're happening concurrently. So we kind of have this interesting like dual story that's gonna, I think, maybe come to a head. Because you might have mentioned a third map today, Kevin.
Yeah. Oh, did you hear that?
I heard that, and my
Okay.
chat were like, "Wait, did he say that?"
Yeah. We said it before the end of the
What
year.
did you say? There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before the end of the
Before
year,
the end of
we'll
the
be
year.
getting our third map.
This is news to me. I did not know this.
We broke news on the COD Pod. Heard it here first.
It keeps happening.
Also
my
on the
gosh.
next broadcast.
I
So
think, yeah.
Wow.
Over the next year, when we say we're all in on round-based zombies, I think you're gonna feel that. So
Thank you.
yeah.
I did a really good.
I couldn't stop doing it.
You did.
On the desk, and Kevin was like,
I was like, was that you? It was like
I thought it was-
wasn't even coming from your mouth. It was great. You
I
threw your
think
voice.
I became possessed.
I think you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, John, what other questions have we got for Kevin?
Kevin, can we expect over the course of the seasons older zombies maps, launch maps, new DLC maps? Can we expect them to get updates, potentially new Easter eggs, new features, new perks, something to keep them fresh?
Yeah. So I would say, there's no current plans in the short term, but that's something I'm always interested in, and I'm actually
Okay.
curious to get your thoughts on, like, is that something you want? Like, preserving a game, like the map as it is. How do you feel about that? Because now it's kind of become a different experience. You can never go back to the other version.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a really great question.
So-
that wasn't what I had in my head, but I mean now.
I mean, that's just
you
like
put it in
like an example of something
Yeah.
like that, right? Like
Yeah.
Easter eggs and things like that. That sounds really cool. Definitely keeping an open mind on that.
there. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Cool.
We're theory crafting here,
Yeah.
maybe. I'm not sure, but I love it.
Yeah.
I've got one more question for you. Are there any plans on implementing difficulty options in Black Ops 6 Zombies just like Black Ops 4?
So I would say directed mode is our answer to that.
Yep.
That is a easier version, and that kind of allows us to preserve the standard mode and to even push it a little bit closer to what it used to be in terms of difficulty. There's a couple things there, right? So for the main quests, right, we're going to kind of go back to the Black Ops 3 style, where once you've hacked, no prompts, no key lines,
Yeah,
you got to
sounds
start
good to me.
interacting with stuff. Now, obviously, we want to make things intuitive. We don't want, I'm like, nope, we're not shooting rocks over here.
Thank God. Please, never again.
But our hope is that really does extend the length of the hunts. And then as far as like high rounds go, we've looked at a couple things to make things more difficult. One of them is limiting self-revives, which I think I said on the stream.
Yes, to total, 3 total.
To 3
in a
total.
match.
So that's like really limiting like your get out of jail free cards. Just the whole overhaul of augments, as opposed to the 5-tiered skill system, is kind of like, yes, you have some chunky abilities, but it's not all of it all the time.
I
right?
felt it when I played. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, that's
you notice it.
That's the older version. You're basically starting from scratch. And,
Yeah.
after you've played several 20, 30 hours, you'll start to, build up a little bit more power. But yeah, not quite as much. We're not doing like weapon skills this time around, so you can't just like, my guns do 10% more damage on crit shots, right? Like that's not there. So there's some tools there. Excited to see how the players out there react to that stuff. And we'll be listening to see if we can make adjustments.
Awesome. So I want to get into some next recap, and Miles, jump in here, but both of you, and maybe also you, what was the favorite part of Next today? So a lot of things happened.
I'll kick this one off. I mean, we've been close to it for a minute now, it feels like, but the reaction from the community across all 3 and 4, modes and games essentially we showed. Multiplayer reveal went super well. Everyone extremely excited about that. And then again, to see, the zombies reaction and to see so many different people playing zombies who aren't necessarily hardcore zombies fans, that was also really cool.
How many people, John, were asking you for tips? They're like,
Oh, countless. Countless.
they're like, what's my loadout? What am I doing here?
Yeah.
Kevin, did you have a highlight?
Oh, I got 2. I'm going to try to cheat. Abby is like an incredible highlight for me.
Abby.
I got the honor of kind of stepping in at the end of Cold War to like concept the idea of I'll
The
say
mega
her, but just the
abomination?
abomination.
Yeah.
And then 4 years later to be seeing it real and is incredible.
Standing
you know?
next to you in the parking lot, in other words. Yeah.
Yeah, breathing smoke and making laser noises. It's that was amazing. The other thing, we did the pre-brief yesterday, right, where we kind of just ran, because everyone's playing the day of, so we kind of run through what we're talking about in the broadcast. When I got to the zombie section, I was just kind of overwhelmed by the response from the audience, just like how shared wall or door buys. It was just like a round of applause, and I was just like, oh.
Applause. Literal applause during the zombie section at multiple points.
Shared door buys. I was like, all right, let's go.
That's when you know you're doing something right.
Turns out they want to be cooperative.
I know. It's
Who
like
knew?
the one mode in Call of Duty where it's just like, let's come together.
Yeah. Was there anything that you were really surprised about in terms of, you know, people's reactions to things at Zombies at Next?
It's a good question. I feel like it was my collective reaction as well as what my community were experiencing when we realized that you brought back a not so fan favorite wonder weapon, but actually made it very, very good.
So you got to play with the jet gun. You're, of course,
Yes.
talking about the jet gun.
The jet gun.
Details,
the
please.
Frustadyne.
Frustadyne Model 23.
23.
Model 23,
Yeah.
F-23, yeah. That's awesome. So I'm a sucker for taking things from our past that might not have been well received and trying to do a Rev 2. Right?
Thank you.
I love that.
Thank you so much.
Sometimes it works out, jet gun. Other times maybe not, Tombstone. We'll see.
I think it's the thought that counts here, but great to hear. I mean, did you have any like crazy plays or moments with the jet gun?
Oh yeah, like one of the new changes to the jet gun is it now has 2 firing modes.
Yep.
So it has the normal one that sucks up the zombies, and I like that it now sucks up salvage and other things like around as well. So like power ups if it's like somewhere down a lane, you just look at it, get the jet gun. Like a fishing rod, basically.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's got an alternate
We're
fire.
gonna get you doing sound effects on the next wonder weapon.
crisp.
Yeah, really crisp.
TM on the sound effects. But the alternate fire is where it sort of just implodes all its power at once, but it sort of emits like an energy that just takes out everything in its way.
Yeah.
And if you have that with some of the more bigger bosses in the map, it's almost like an insta-kill weapon. If you don't have that, then you're going to be at a slight disadvantage because that thing, it was crazy. Very, very happy.
Take an actual notice over here for upcoming play sessions.
We need the strap. Miles and I are going to attempt the main quest, but that's okay because we might have some friends to help carry us. But I am excited because no one asked me, so I got you back. But I'm excited about directed
Stephanie, what are
mode.
you interested in?
Thank you, Kevin.
Okay.
Thank you for asking, Kevin. At Season 1, I'm excited to play directed mode because I have a busy schedule. Sometimes things are a little crazy. I like to watch YouTube content, but sometimes, creator content, whatever it is, I don't always have all the time to watch it. So, it's nice to have a way that I can accomplish that goal, on my own with friends in my own time, get a little help here and there.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about it.
I'm really excited about that as well because, again, the competitive sort of like completionist in me wants to try to do it unguided, without the direction.
Yeah,
and
of
I
course,
want that special unlock.
Yeah.
As soon as Lawrence Metten said that there is a one-off special for getting this early, I was like, oh, come on. But then, again, to your point, those who are a little bit time poor, this is an amazing way to experience the story. I'm going off here. Are you able to share how small the percentage of people that do manage to finish the zombie story is? Because I would imagine it's an amazing thing for you guys to be able to say, we've put in this huge amount of work, now go experience it. It must be really fun.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what we're hoping. It's hard to get, because it's so situational based on the map. But I think it was like 5% on Team Machine.
Wow. And that's a launch map as well.
Yeah.
Well, it's also just recognition for the narrative. Like, regardless of the percentage, people or whatever, regardless of people completing the main quest, I think there are a lot of people out there who don't realize that there's this rich, awesome narrative for them to discover.
good.
And for my lore heads out there, because that's like just a whole new world for you to jump into.
Right. Yeah. And we put so much work into those main quests. And
there might be like a step in the quest where the community might solve it, but they don't necessarily understand how it works.
yes.
Right.
And so we could go weeks without realizing how it works. But then if you have, the new director mode,
or years. In the case of Blood of the Dead with the Morse code stuff.
Yeah, I still can't believe that. For context, there's an east in the main Blood of the Dead quest. There is a step with Morse code, but there was a part of the map that blinks the Morse code, but no one realized it for about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, everyone just bash their head into the Morse code machine.
What, Miles? You don't read Morse code?
Oh, not in a long time, to be honest, but...
You know? Zombies Quest will take you everywhere. They're very educational.
That's amazing.
It's true. You have a variety of skills you want to build. Well, Kevin, John, I can't thank you enough. You first guest ever.
I still can't believe it.
Thank you for coming to Next. Thank you for being part of this, Kevin. Thank you for giving us your precious time. You got a game to work on. We got press. We got stuff to do. It's been a busy week. Miles, you're just great. We'll be right back. Wow, Miles, what a treat to have our first ever guest on the COD Pod. Thank you again to MrDalekJD. Check out his next content, and Kevin Drew from Treyarch for joining us. But it's time to talk about some Warzone.
And not just Warzone. We're talking about the brand new resurgence map, Area 99. For those who didn't see it in today's extravagant and explosive reveal, it's very cool.
It's really cool. It feels like a fundamentally Treyarch map. I think
it's got a cool color palette. It's very fun. It's got a little bit of tongue-in-cheek humor.
Camp.
It's a little camp. It's got everything going for it. And again, it's a similar size to Rebirth Island, which is also really exciting for the folks who are looking for that kind of punchy gameplay, that punchy respawn Warzone style gameplay, which is really, really exciting. Fantastic.
Yeah, if you haven't watched all of Call of Duty Next, I encourage you to check out the broadcast or some of the recap content, or you can just keep listening to this podcast.
All of the above.
Area 99 is the birthplace of Nuketown, right? So it's got this really cool narrative that Treyarch has built out about the map, that all of the Nuketowns were made there. It's out in the desert at the Echo Ridge weapons station, and they've been cranking out Nuketowns, making mannequins, and then plopping them out in the desert to blow up.
Yep.
And that's exciting, but it's also like, I just love that when sometimes on a map, like, you want to know, like, why am I here, or like, what's the deal? And I love that on this map you can't escape that. It's baked into the DNA of the experience, and that makes me super happy, especially as a Nuketown stan.
I mean, every single Black Ops game has had a variation of sort of certain flavor of Nuketown, and it's really fun to sort of see that tiny idea has exploded into this wonderful map. I mean, it's been very, very cool. It's sort of atom punk vibe to it. My favorite part of the map is the sort of floating Nuketown house that's being suspended.
House on a crane.
House on a crane. It's being suspended by a crane.
The POI itself is called Nuketown Shipping. That is my number one place to land.
It's such a brilliant idea.
I love it.
Because you can see it, and again, not even as a Black Ops stan, but someone who's I've played Nuketown, I'm aware of Call of Duty. To see that, you immediately go, that's where that is. And you know the layout of that house. There's the kitchen, into the living room, up the stairs, tiny bedroom, bigger bedroom, balcony overlooking the map. And you're like, that, I know where I'm going. I feel at home here. The colours are all there. I mean, the dorms area as well, or the living pods where the employees of Area 99... The pod, you know.
Dormitory.
It's so fun. And all the colours, everything is there. I mean, and with what we saw today as well, it plays fantastically. Really, really fast-paced, very punchy, very, very fun. Yeah. I can't wait to get on myself.
Well, in the center of the map, we have Reactor, and Reactor is really interesting. Brittany from Treyarch spoke about it on the next broadcast, but it's the highest point in the map. It almost stands out to you looking down at the TAC map like a bullseye, right? Yeah. Like, so a lot of people are, I think when it launches, will land Reactor. Of course, we only saw alpha gameplay at Call of Duty Next because this map is still, a couple months from ship, and so it will likely see some changes, and hopefully if there was any important discussions here at Next, the team can try to get that into account looking ahead. But that is, I think, you land Reactor. You also have this whole underground component. If you're in
Tunnels.
House on a Crane, you got a really nice eye line on Reactor. And so I think that this map, to me, has a nice balance of verticality with familiar spaces like the Nuketown houses, this tunnel system.
Wild tunnel system.
And the rotations are really fast. I think that's what the thing that I've noticed the most playing this is that idea that Treyarch wanted to take like the frenetic nature of Nuketown and really kind of like distill that into individual POIs.
Yeah.
Is so creative.
Yeah, there's a moment in the mannequin
Assembly
where
Yeah.
there is a massive sort of pneumatic crushing.
The Smasher.
The Smasher.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the idea that there's so much going on in there, but again, it is. How do you do that? How do you distill the magic of a Nuketown map, which
Or you
is
smash.
you smash it together, atom by atom. But it was very, very cool to watch our players and our creators go at it on that map all day. I also want to talk about the mascot, Archie Atom, which I heard Archie's going to be in the map chatting to you every now and then.
Yeah, we got to. I think the streamers and some of the creators here really liked Archie. He's got this, funny retro futurist transatlantic accent.
Puckett and I couldn't stop during the presentation.
I noticed.
We both was, what do you know? Well, welcome to the assembly with the mannequins. It was great. It was a lot of fun, but it's such a strong visual and it's a perfect sort of template across that map and the Nuketown vibe, and it's all there. Area 99 is gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's on top of Area 99 awesome map reveal coming to Resurgence. Closer to season 1, and a big. The other kind of like huge news is how a lot of the global systems from Black Ops 6 are going to integrate into Warzone. We got some very clear answers from the team at Raven, who have been working really hard about bringing a lot of these online, like Omnimovement, like the dedicated Warzone camo grind.
Banging. Not to mention, dedicated melee gives you
infinite
tactical sprint. I mean, what an encouragement to use that mechanic, whether you're running away from action, running into action, quickly making it to a new zone. This is a huge, huge gameplay changer. Not the same in multiplayer. You don't have infinite attack sprint in multiplayer, but in Warzone, that's amazing.
Yeah, and Ted and Pete from Raven also took us through how the perks are going to work. There's also a perk situation, which, you can access infinite tack sprint there. Lootable perks, how those are stackable with your loadout.
Huge.
Satchels.
Wildcards.
Backpack, simplified.
RIP backpack.
Yeah, simplified inventory.
Oh.
And a lot of that, like, celebrated, going back to our roots in a lot of ways. And so that's exciting.
Yeah, I think they're really lended to I think Omnimovement as a design choice. And I'm spitting here like I'm a dev, I'm not that. But the way that Omnimovement sort of makes you play or gives you the ability to play, you can't be stopping to look in your backpack. You can't pause.
Too fast.
Too fast, always moving. And I think it really lends itself to a more exciting and fluid experience, which I think is a really cool choice.
And you said the key word, which I think is something that we keep hearing the developers say, which is fluidity. That fluidity and flow have been at the core, goal for what Omnimovement was and what they want the experience to be like. Like Matt Schranz from Treyarch has said that, hey, he was our first guest on episode 1.
Legend.
Watch it if you haven't. But yeah, like chasing that fluidity. And I think today, we finally got to see that has been taken into account from Warzone. And I'm sure that, we're going to continue seeing changes. Like I said, this was alpha for Area 99, but lots of new information as we get closer to season 1.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Beta first, season 1, launch. I mean,
we got a lot of stuff.
It feels like Christmas, folks. It feels like today was Eve, tomorrow.
We had a whole month of zombies stuff.
Not to mention, October 25th when the game does come out.
Yes.
Spooky season.
Spooky season.
There? Any more there?
I could. I happen to know that the multiplayer team at Treyarch intends to celebrate spooky season with a particular mode. I believe Joanna from Treyarch told us earlier that we might be dressing up as zombies. The noise is out of control. We got to stop making the round noise. We're possessed.
Fetch me their souls. We did that in episode 1 as well. But also, last piece of Warzone news, which was a big deal for you.
Big deal for me. I might have said it somewhere else in this podcast, so we could definitely edit that out.
Okay.
Yeah, but Verdansk is coming back.
Which is a huge
deal. In 2025.
The 5th year of Warzone, and it has been huge. I mean,
Yeah.
it helped. Warzone changed the world.
It did. It did. And I look back at it like such a unique time in my life. And I think for a lot of people, when we think about all the time we spent in Verdansk, that's where the majority of my social interactions were happening for a pretty decent chunk of time there.
A very memorable period of time for all of us.
But also it was a great time for Call of Duty. Obviously, shout out to IW launching that iconic map in 2020. And I'm really excited to see Verdansk come back next year in a place where we have all of these, new features and toys and gadgets and things and systems from Black Ops 6, because I think that's going to just be a really rich experience and hopefully something, 5 years of Warzone is a big deal.
That's a long time. I mean, my first thought was, we're going back to Verdansk. How can I use Omnimovement to my advantage on that place? Well, Verdansk is going to be cool to go back. It's going to be exciting to go there with Omnimovement. We'll see how it goes. 2025. See you there.
Yeah, I got to make it to 2025. Like you said, we got a full slate.
Yeah, the diary's packed. I mean, we've got a lot of social engagements, predominantly a season 1 ranked play, baby.
Ranked play, ranked multiplayer coming.
It's all there. I mean, this is
earlier
a good time.
than ever. And ranked battle royale coming also sometime in season 1. So we eating good. Yeah. And I think with that, I just want to talk a little bit about the COD pod itself. First of all, thank you so much for watching and listening to episode 1. This was a bit of a passion project for us. Like I said in the first episode, it's intended to, be part of the conversation with the community, and, hopefully be an interesting platform for us to have, discussions about what's coming and things that we're excited about and things that are coming up. And I just don't know if we were expecting the response that we had. And so we got it in episode 2, and thank you. So if you're enjoying what you're listening to, subscribe. I promise there's going to be more exciting guests. I have a feeling what we're cooking for episode 3 will be maybe a little tease on what's coming in the story.
Well, I've been talking to a lot of various studios and people from various studios who are like, hey, get me on the pod. And I'm like, well, I'm not the person to ask, but I'm also absolutely down.
Yeah, I think
from all walks of the company.
A lot of the creators
they've all got stories.
Here, have us on the pod. I mean, fortunately, we were able to get John, and so I'm excited. I think hopefully you guys enjoy this episode and we'll keep going. But it might not always be us either, right? I think we're looking to build out, a little group of hosts. And so if it's not always us, we're going to get some more, returning cast and characters from across the Call of Duty universe here.
And don't forget to get involved in the conversation as well. I mean, and you can also send your resumes. Don't do that about being a host to us with the hashtag COD POD. But our community questions have been a lot of fun.
Yes.
Will beta progress, account levels / and weapons count towards the full release version? So all the hard graft I put into the beta, will that have any impact on my time in the retail version of the game?
No, it will not. But
that's finished.
But progress in the beta, XP earned in the beta, will count towards your Season 5 Battle Pass and your general progression in Call of Duty as a whole. So while it will not impact Black Ops 6 at launch, you are getting that XP, getting the Battle Pass credit, some really juicy, cosmetics and things like that.
I thoroughly enjoy the weapon charm that says no bugs, like a little bug getting squashed, which is a lovely little inside joke from the devs.
Yeah, as we say, this is why we beta.
This is why we beta. Very, very exciting. Another fun question is, how will Prestige work with weapon blueprints?
So I encourage everyone to go back on the next broadcast and revisit this section on Prestige. Lawrence Benton from Treyarch spoke to this a little bit, but Prestige will not impact your weapon blueprints. So owned blueprints that you have purchased will not be impacted by, unlocking or relocking content in that regard.
Cool.
We can't wait to see you in the Black Ops 6 multiplayer beta. Thank you for listening. Tune in again. We'll hopefully keep doing this.
Please do. No, really, please do. This has been so interesting to be able to peel back the curtain a little bit to get to talk to some amazing creators and to get to talk to some of the people who made this amazing game. And let's do it again, Steph.
I would like that.
Maybe let's not do it. It's right after COD Next.
Not tomorrow.
Or tomorrow, but let's not do it in this incredibly, lavish and exciting place. Let's do it in a dark studio somewhere after hours and hours of rest.
This chair is very soft. I'm actually propped up on the cushion
That's
of another
again
chair
a
because
blessing for
I
the
was
viewers,
just
not for the listeners.
yeah.
Well, no more questions. It's a big win for me. Black Ops 6 comes out on October 25th. The beta comes out. I mean, probably by the time you're listening to this, you should be in the beta or at least downloading it. Thank you so much again for listening to this or watching this, wherever you get your podcasts or if you're on YouTube. Drop a comment, hit a like, maybe even subscribe. Episode 2, an absolute banger. We'll see you on the 3rd. I've been Mars, you've been Steph. We'll see you on the beta. It could have been better.
It wasn't the worst outro you've ever done.
This is take 19.
I just didn't talk because I can't talk
That's fine.
anymore today.
Doing a lot of talking for someone who can't.
I did a 4-hour broadcast. Actually, so did you, but
I also did it standing.
I just want to go pet Abby.
I did about 14 laps of the Oculus with Christopher Puckett.
How many steps?
Oh, a lot. And I put my phone down for half of it.
Tell us, you coward.
I don't know.